When my son Jake was 8, I made a deal with him that my wife thought was absolutely ridiculous. I told him he'd get $5 a week for an allowance, but I was never buying him another toy, candy bar, or extra thing again. If he wanted it, he had to save for it. I grew up lights getting cut off broke, and I didn't want him drowning in debt at 25 like I did. Jake took the deal seriously, like terrifyingly seriously. He saved for a month just to buy a $20 Lego set, and he treated that box like it was made of solid gold. But then, things got weird. I walked past his room one morning and saw him writing in a notebook. He'd drawn actual columns for income, expenses, and savings. He was 8 years old, and he was tracking his net worth like a 40-year-old with a spreadsheet. A few weeks later, his friend Devin came over crying because his family couldn't afford a $15 class field trip. Jake didn't even hesitate. He went to his room, grabbed his savings jar, and handed Devin the $15. When Devin tried to refuse, Jake just shrugged and said, "I'm not giving it to you, I'm investing. You're going to be a scientist someday, and you'll remember I believed in you." I almost lost it right there. But the part that still keeps me up at night happened 2 months later. Jake came to me with an actual written proposal for a lending library at school, not for books, but for supplies. He'd noticed some kids were getting in trouble for not having pencils or glue sticks because they couldn't afford them. He'd calculated the startup cost to buy in bulk and set up a no-shame, no-blame return box. The kid had a full business plan before he even hit the 3rd grade. I funded the first $40 myself. Within 2 weeks, every kid in his class was using it. Teachers from other rooms started asking about it. Eventually, the principal invited Jake to present his idea at a staff meeting. He stood there in front of 30 adults and explained his system without backing down once. By the next semester, the entire school had lending stations funded by the PTA. A local news station eventually did a segment on him. When the reporter asked where he got the idea, Jake just said, "My dad told me I had to buy my own stuff. I realized some kids can't buy anything, and that's just not fair. I set out to teach my son that money doesn't grow on trees." I ended up learning that while I was teaching him about dollars, he was teaching himself about dignity.